Hello and welcome to Super Story Science. My name is Sarah Scoggin and I'm the Early Childhood Librarian at Newburgh Free Library. So this is the last of our Super Story Science programs for the summer. Super Science will be back in the fall, so take a look at our online calendar or newsletter for more updates on that as they become available. I'll put a link to our past videos up in the card and a link down in the description to Read Squared. So you still can earn a digital badge, as always, by doing one of the activities in this video. So for one more time, let's have an email from Dr. Learn-A-Lot. Oh, hi. I'm just working on my latest invention. But it's going kind of slowly, so maybe I'll take a little break and check my email. Friday, August 14th, 2020, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dear Dr. Learn-A-Lot, I want to be an inventor, but I'm just a kid. Can you tell me what you think people will need in the future so I can work on those things? Sincerely, Tom Morrow. Well, Tom, it's great that you want to be an inventor. You don't have to wait until you're a grown-up to be an inventor. But as for what people need in the future, well, beyond 2020, they're going to need to do what we've always needed to do, solve problems. Some problems we always have. Big problems like making sure everybody has enough food and good water and ways to learn. And then there's other problems that will be new as we discover new things. So you, as a kid inventor, if it's a big problem, you could say, how can I help? Maybe if it's a smaller problem or a new problem, you could say, what can I invent? That's a good place to start. What problems need solving? As the writer Cindy Perman says, don't just solve problems, find them. So let's take a look at some kid inventors who did exactly that. Kid invention number 1, transforming truck. Robert Patch was only 5 years old when he created a toy truck out of cardboard and bottle caps. It could be either a flat truck or a dump truck. So it's kind of like a transforming truck. He got a patent after he turned 6. He was the youngest person to get a United States patent at the time, and that's 1963. A patent is a special document, a paper that is official, that says that you were the first one to come up with this idea, and that other people can't sell your idea or use it unless they ask you. Kid invention number 2, ear muffs. Chester Greenwood was 15 years old when he decided to bend a piece of wire around his head and asked his grandmother to sew fur on the ends to cover his cold ears. Most people back then used hats with flaps to cover the ears, but the wool in the flap hats bothered Chester's ears, so he had to think of a new way to cover his ears, and they've been a hit ever since. Kid invention number 3, underwater talker. Richie Stakowski, in 1996, at age 11, thought of an idea for an invention that would let people talk underwater if they were nearby. He was on a trip to Hawaii with his family, and he was swimming underwater and surfing, and he wished he could say something to his dad or describe what he saw, but of course he couldn't talk underwater. He thought, I wonder if there's anything out there that scuba divers could use to talk. And he didn't just have the idea, he worked on it with his family, and he invented a way to talk underwater. Kid invention number 4, popsicles. 11-year-old Frankie Epperson invented what we've come to know as a popsicle. It was a winter's eve in 1905 when Frank decided to mix a frozen concoction containing soda water powder and water. He accidentally left the drink outside overnight with the stirring stick in the glass. The mixture froze solid and the first popsicle was born. And that's a quote from Inventionland. Kid invention number 5, shout camera. This is an idea for an invention that was come up with by a boy named Daniel Shimon. And he was only 4 and a half when he came up with the idea of a camera that was set up so that you could shout and tell it when to take a video or a picture. You just get it all set up and then shout and it will turn on for you. Kid invention number 6, Braille. Louis Braille became blind at the age of 3. At age 12 in 1824, he simplified and improved a method of reading with the fingers and invented the Braille system. it uses a code of bumps. So you see in the picture, there's lots of little bumps on that paper. So if you couldn't see, you could move your fingers over the bumps, and the different bumps stand for letters. So you could read the bumps and read the paper. But you can't print bumps on a regular printer, so you need a Braille printer, which is very expensive. So a teenager named Shubham Banerjee in 2014, at 12 years old, he invented a Braille printer made out of a Lego Mindstorm set. That's a lot cheaper. So if you wanted to print Braille for someone who couldn't see, you can use the Braille printer. Kid invention number 7, swim fins. Benjamin Franklin invented swim fins back in 1717 when he was only 11, except his were made of wood and it included a set for your hands too. There are some new swim fins in the picture. Kid invention number 8, crayon holder. Cassidy Goldstein, age 11, in 2002 came up with an idea for a crayon holder to hold the little broken crayon pieces that are hard to color with. And even if the crayon's not broken, it makes it easier for you to hold the crayon. So you can see some of these inventions we just mentioned were invented a long time ago, and some were invented recently. So kids have always been inventors, and you can be a kid inventor too. Activities. Activity number 1. Write down one invention you would like to have in the future. What would you need to make it? Would you need a room cleaning robot? Well, you would need a robot that could see what the mess is. You'd have to program the robot to tell it where to put the things. So that's just an example. If you want a room cleaning robot, what would you need to do to make that? Maybe a giant drone for delivering houses. You can come up with whatever idea you would like to see in the future. That's because science and imagination make a great team. Activity number 2, create an inventing box. So see if you can find a box, a bin, something that you can put all little bits and pieces that you could use to invent things, or practice coming up with ideas, fitting things together. And I know there was one mom who made an inventing box, so if there was a toy or something that was broken, it would go in the inventing box. So then everyone would know if it's in the inventing box, you can take it apart, see how it works, put it back together different ways. And if it's not in the inventing box, then you'd have to ask to make sure you didn't take apart something that you couldn't really put back together again. You don't have to have anything fancy. You could use paper towel tubes or straws and tape, things like that. There are so many things you can invent with things around your house. Activity 3, create and optimize. Create an invention like this balloon-powered car, for example. You can see it's made of cardboard. You could use thick cardboard instead of those wooden wheels, and it's got a balloon for the power. So if you made a car like this and you try it out, how does it work? What could you do to make it better? The word optimize means to make something the best it can be. So maybe you could try making it lighter or using a bigger balloon, something to make your car or your other invention be the best it can be. Better change only one variable at a time though, so you can test and see what works. So I hope that helped, Tom. Good luck inventing. And to everyone who watches these videos, thanks for being part of my science story. Remember, every time you ask why, what if, and how could we, and then design an experiment, figure out the way to figure it out, you're doing science. Dr. Learn a Lot, signing off. So that's all the super story science we have for you today. If you have any questions about this program or any of the programs for children, you can email me at scoggin@rcls.org. If you have any questions for the library or want to know how the library can help you, you can email nflref@rcls.org or call the Ask a Librarian line at 845-391-0672. Thank you so much for watching, and happy science!